What's happening, crypto fam? Happy Monday. Good morning and welcome back to Love for Crypto. I'm Scott. It's a pleasure to have you here. I appreciate you taking the time out to consume my content, so thank you. This morning I want to talk about XUMM and apps that are enabling XRP. XUMM's been called out as the best use case of XRP by Xpring. Xpring, the investment arm that's throwing money at all kinds of people, have said XUMM banking app is the best use case of XRP. Now, anyone who makes an app linked to that kind of thing, or ILP, a housing app that links to XUMM and you can buy a house with XRP. I know it's only merchant API at the end of the day with a lot of places, but we need these dApps, these decentralized applications that are going to actually give us ownership of another asset and allow us to asset swap through apps like XUMM. So, I'll have a little chat through the article first, and then we'll see what Xpring are actually saying, because I haven't read it myself. It's a relatively new article, I believe. So, Ripple XUMM banking app is the best use case of the XRP Ledger so far. Xpring shows great confidence in XUMM as the best use case of the XRP Ledger and promises that developers further financial support. The PayID Hackathon brings new ideas and possible applications for XRP. Excuse me. So Paul Anderson of Xpring recently announced that Xpring has signed a new 3-year contract to support XRPL Labs and XUMM. He called XUMM one of the best representations of the XRP Ledger. Xpring is Ripple's investment arm and is driving the adoption of XRPL-based applications. So XRPL continues to invest in collaboration with XUMM on a 3-year deal, mate. Considering XUMM's development over the last months, it's not surprising. As Crypto Newsflash already reported in March, the app started with about 3,700 users. Although the app still had a few bugs at the start, less than 2 months later in May, Chief Developer Xpring said that XUMM would soon be ready for mass deployment. The assertion was shortly thereafter substantiated by XUMM, with a massive update with over 60 fixes. XRPL promptly provided another cash injection in early August to further XUMM's development. Xpring provided another cash injection, so they had 20 mil, didn't they? And it appears that they've been given XRPL expands financial support for XUMM banking app. That was August the 5th. So Ripple's investment arm Xpring announced increasing funding for XRPL Labs, led by developer Xpring. XRPL Labs is working on a XUMM banking application. In that sense, Xpring announced that the increase of its investment in XRPL Labs is part of a wide effort to support companies and projects that are building on the XRP Ledger. That's what we're going to do. Interesting. So according to Win, one of the main goals of XUMM is to enable trading currencies such as the euro, dollar and XRP independent of banks. Above all, the simplification of peer-to-peer payments and payments in trade is to be simplified. And it is obvious that Xpring considers XUMM to be the most promising solution for this essential area. The Xpring PayID Hackathon brings exciting innovations too. On August the 7th, Xpring CEO Paul Anderson announced that the winners of the PayID Hackathon organised by Ripple, the 6-week hackathon, attracted 360 developers with prizes of more than $25,000 and resulted in more than 40 projects. Anderson wrote that many of the projects exceeded the expectations of the organisers in quality and demand. After the selection of the 10 finalists, they got a chance to present their projects at a top-class jury of experts amongst David Schwartz. Interesting. And Ethan Beard, SVP of Xpring. Interesting. Among the top 10 projects, such as Brisk ID, which allows anyone to set up a PayID via mobile phone. One of the main goals of the developers was to make new technologies accessible to normal people, norms. Repay also made it to the top 10. The app is Makes it possible to send contracts from Discord, Telegram, Slack and other services via PayID. XRP with just one message. Interesting. The top 3 consisted of an app from Usend that links bank accounts to PayID, a PayID marketplace for video games from Zero Games, and a tool from PayID Validator to validate PayID response headers. The variety of topics and possibilities that the developers found for PayID is striking, but the focus was clearly on usability and the removal of barriers to the use of new technologies. Some of these ideas certainly point to upcoming trends. I mean, PayID Hackathon producing 40 projects. Do you know what I mean? Pete's been getting more. So we had 20 mil cash injection, and then it's getting more funding beyond that. Madness. Paul Anderson announcing the winners of the PayID Hackathon. On June 18th, 2020, PayID was launched with a coalition of over 40 companies. Excuse me. After the PayID Developer Conference on June 25th, like I said, June 25th, 2020, Ripple kicked off a 6-week-long 25k plus virtual hackathon on DevPost in order to continue momentum and drive further engagement of PayID developer community. 360 developers from all over the world registered to participate in the PayID Hackathon. And in the end, over 40 projects were submitted. We were overwhelmed by the overall quality, difficulty and the value of the projects submitted. Narrowing down a list was a difficult task. Brisk ID allows anyone with a mobile phone to easily create and manage a PayID. Verified PayID decentralized saved identities assigned to PayID. InstaPay, the fastest, easiest payment app for all financial transactions using PayID. XND, a non-custodial wallet that can perform cross-chain transactions directly to PayID. Repay, send XRP to more than 1 billion people in your favorite messaging apps like Telegram, Discord, Matrix, Slack using PayID. Xpayments.me, a central gateway for cryptocurrency payments information powered by PayID. UPay, get paid for your online services by anyone, anywhere in the world using PayID. Interesting. In third place, winning $2.5 grand in XRP, Unisend built an app to connect a bank account to send money interoperably for free using PayID on XRP Ledger. Interesting. In second place, winning $5 grand in XRP, Zero Games built a peer-to-peer 0% free video game crypto marketplace using PayID. Interesting. In first place for the grand prize of 15 grand in XRP, PayID Validator built a developer tool for performing checks to validate PayID response headers. Thank you to all the developers for participating in the first ever PayID Hackathon. PayID launched 6 weeks ago, so it's inspiring to already see the developer community building apps that solve real-world problems using PayID. If you are a developer that's interested in building on PayID, then join the Discord channel, where over 250 developers hang out every day to help each other solve problems and build cool stuff. Interesting. I don't know how you got out of my room. Little shit. Someone must have got up and let you out. Guys, right, the breakdown, this is what I mean now, right? For people who are not even looking at the code and they're not even trying to figure it out. Someone could have a tiny little idea that if they just shared it with another guy, the other guy's like, oh, why don't you do this, that, and that, and then we make it happen, and boom, and then before you know it, Springer ringing you with 20 mil. Do you know what I mean? You talk 20 million, guys, is a lot to be getting for investment. just to keep working on what he was already working on. Do people realise that these things working on something? It was already what he wanted to do. He's doing what he wanted to do. Woke up in the morning, was like, yo, what to do this, I'm gonna do this. A few months down the line, still doing what he actually wanted to do. 20 million for it. Do you know what I mean? And some people just don't seem to see that anyone can do that if you just come up with the right idea, with the right little art. Everyone who was at that hackathon had the opportunity to make any of them apps that was made. It was just they all had the slightly different ideas on what they was going to do. Seriously, people should be thinking about how to figure out the coding, how to set up your own PayID without relying on someone else. It's need a bigger PC, me. The PC can't handle everything I want to do, you know, from run XRP nodes to Codius hosts. It's just not big enough machine. Need 32 gig to run a node. But we have ideas for apps lined up. We have ideas in the pipeline. Now, can you imagine you got a little bit of traction on one of your ideas and Spring send you 5 or 10 mil, mate? Everyone's here waiting for the moon and waiting for the crypto to blow up when you could legitimately just be investing in yourself. Like I say, take the time out to expand your knowledge base, to do some market research and some experimentation and some construction and building, and see where you get with something you're passionate about. You never know where it's going to go and what's going to happen. I've now got quite a few ideas for quite a few apps, and we will be discussing them at DLTCONUK. Vietsvind will be giving an update on XUMM at DLTCON. Hopefully we'll try and get him for a live Q&A. I'm not too sure if that's going to go down yet, but you will definitely get an exclusive update of where the XUMM app's at, the roadmap and the future plans for it. And you will get the plans we have, because I would like to make an app that attaches to, that XUMM attaches to, and we can start asset swapping using XUMM and other apps. And Dave said yesterday, over the weekend, it's just going to end up with 500 different apps. So in the end, someone's going to have to make some sort of app that makes every other app interoperable. Sounds like that's what Ledger wanted to be on the operating system, but it's just a shame it costs so fucking much to run it, innit? You know what I mean? One thing having to spend the money on the machine to be able to run Ripple tech, but that's basically free once you've got the machine set up. You're just downloading all the protocols and APIs and stuff. Ledger charging a bomb. Anyone charging a bomb, you're not getting my business, mate. It's as simple as that. We're not in blockchain to make more corporations richer. We're not in blockchain to make more corporations richer. We're in blockchain to help create a level playing field globally, from merchants to consumers to everyone. Just have to be patient, but it's exciting times. It is exciting time. The market's been moving a little bit. Let me see what Chainlink's on. Chainlink, mate, was going somewhat sick. I'm not saying go and buy Chainlink. I'm not saying not buy it. Say go and have a look at it yourself, because some people believe in it. Some people are wary of it. You go and have a look and make your own mind up, eh? Don't let people tell you what you should be doing. But Chainlink, mate, $13.70, Dave. Jesus wept. Damn Link. Damn Link. What's going on with that? What is going on with that? V-Chain's holding above 2 cents, that's good. But damn! A lot of people can see Link ending badly. Now, if you're making money off it and you've made money off it, well done, and be cautious, and just be careful. It's the same with everything really, innit? Don't be too deep in it. You should only be investing what you're willing to lose. I know it's easier said than done. And sometimes you can invest $1,000 that you didn't really need. Excuse me, got some gas this morning. You can be investing $1,000 that you didn't really need at the time, and then 6 weeks later, 6 months later, you actually need that $1,000. You're like, shit, I need the $1,000. Hopefully the $1,000's still there. It's gone the way of the green and actually gained instead of going the way of the red. And it's actually lost money because your $1,000 ain't even there then 6 months later. So that you put $1,000 in and it goes way up to $3,000 and you need the $1,000. 6 months later, you take the $1,000 down, there's still $2,000 in. You're like, yeah, that was a sick little investment. But if it went the other way, like many did, you're still waiting for it to come back and that $1,000's no longer there. So initially, you should only be investing what you can afford to lose or what you feel you can afford to lose on that day, and then be patient for it to be coming back. If it dips, you've all seen IPOs and ICOs and all that. They release at once and they'll come back. Biggest questions: when all-time high? Not even when moon now. When new all-time high? Back end of next year, who knows? What I do know is you should all be using this to come up with as many light bulb moments as you possibly can. Get a little practical project on the go where you've got some evidence and some progress. XUMM wasn't out when Xpring got 20 million off Xpring. Only TipBot and XRP payments was out. XUMM wasn't out yet. Used the funding to make XUMM on the back of making TipBot and XRP payments. So you just need to create your own little project and then hopefully get some funding. And you're doing something you want to do, guys. You're doing something you want to do then. Do you know what I mean? It's not about being in a fucking... Who's on the way to work this morning, or you've gone to work this morning to a job you just don't want to do anymore. You're only doing it because it gives you the money you need to pay your bills, legitimately. People should be doing what they love doing. People should be bouncing out of bed, bouncing to work like, yo, I fucking love this job. I actually do it for free. Literally, like, most people, you would do a job you love for free. And I mean like for free, not for free. As long as your bills are paid, your food's bought, you've got an house over your head and you've got a vehicle to get about. Do you need 4 mil in the bank or 40 mil in the bank if you absolutely love your life and job? You love your job so much, you're not going to need holidays. You need an holiday when you love your life. You need a holiday from life when you love your life. No one needs a holiday from life if you love your fucking life. You don't need a break from something you love. You fuck. Got to think about what it is. What is it? What's your hobby? The idea that you wish, you pray, and you wish could be turned into revenue. Have a serious think with yourself and think about what it is and start walking towards it one step at a time. One step at a time. Invest in yourself, invest in the internet of value. Live long and hodl it until you're ready to let it go. You might find that you just do something for 5 or 10 years and then you move on to something else. Who knows? As long as you're happy doing it, that's all that matters. Get happy, get healthy. Yeah, wishing health and happiness to all you guys. It has been a pleasure as always. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up and share, you know, it helps us out. Yeah, enjoy your week. If you can't be patient with your investment, then build something on the side. Build something on the side, because it's not about just go to Twitter and moaning. That place is becoming too negative for me now. I want positivity. I want people talking about change, whether it's in politics, healthcare, or some technology people haven't even thought of yet. I want change, positive change, a level playing field. And on that note, we love crypto, we love the internet of value, and we love you. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.